YouTube. Hey, Card Dreamer here. I am here on episode 3 of Touching Lives with my brother. I'm telling you, this guy here is like my older brother that I have never even met. He is one of those guys. You guys welcome BigD4Life. What's up, Big D? What's going on, buddy?
What's happening, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I am good. It is awesome to finally get to talk to you in person. I've chatted with
Absolutely.
you, and so what do you think about all this craziness, man, with the NFL? I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Well, first of all, I just want to talk about you just for a second here. And number one, thanks for having me on this. When you first started this idea, I really think, I don't know how to put this, you're the perfect person to do this. And when you watch videos and you see people interact on videos, one thing that has always drawn me to people, I've said this before, is people that are genuine. And you have a way of, when interacting with other people and doing a setting like this, it can become stale. And you are genuine in the way your questions and your back and forth with people, so it's really enjoyable. I think it's really good what you've done. So I'm excited to be on here because I consider myself to be genuine.
Right.
So really cool concept. I appreciate it. And I ramble, so sorry.
No, you're good. That's what this is about, man.
Just stop me when I go over my 30 minutes or my time limit for questions. I love to ramble. The NFL, honestly, I've had a little trouble following. I've been super busy at work, but I know the big names that have moved. Congrats. I saw the Ravens got Earl Thomas. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. We got Earl Thomas. Yep.
I saw the Ravens sign Earl Thomas. I saw Eric Berry was released today.
Yeah.
Of course, Beckham, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. It's definitely a busier off season than what I can remember recently. I don't know. I don't want to come at it with a negative angle, and I think sometimes as fans, I'm a fan of a team that hasn't grabbed one of these guys yet.
Right.
And a lot of times those guys are like, oh, well, we don't want him anyway. But I would have loved to have gotten, Odell Beckham Jr. or
Right.
Antonio Brown. But I don't know. The only thing is, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Sometimes my opinion is, you can grab all of these big names and big pieces and throw them on a team, but you really have to wait and see how it falls out.
Yeah,
see,
right.
You can't. Sometimes you just can't throw great players together and the result be a championship. But I am, as a lot of people have said, I'm excited to watch the Browns.
Yeah, I am too. I just hope that they all work together. W. Vogs, first of all, oh, wow. Book of Festus says hello.
What's up, Festus?
Also, Vogs, W. Vogs, he just said he subbed to you, so you just got a new sub.
Nice. Thanks, man. What's up?
So, yeah, for us, I mean, I think the biggest news that I've heard so far this week for us is signing Mark Ingram. Ingram? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we signed him. So he is a Raven now also. So that is big news for us also. So Earl Thomas and Mark Ingram are now Baltimore Ravens. So
that's huge.
That is big. Yeah.
I think, and Mark Ingram is super underrated, and I think for Baltimore, he's one of these guys. Obviously he can run the ball, but man, he's a huge threat in the passing game too. So that's an awesome addition for the Ravens.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty excited. I haven't seen you guys. Have you guys made any moves yet?
Dallas?
Yeah.
Dallas has become notorious the past few years for kind of not doing a lot in free agency. I heard we lost Cole Beasley,
Right.
Which I'm disappointed. I liked Cole Beasley. I don't think he's necessarily the somebody we can't replace.
Right.
But it's obviously I have to move his cards from my active Cowboys to my no longer a Cowboy box. Yeah, they haven't really done anything. They restructured Sean Lee's contract to keep him. They're trying to work out DeMarcus Lawrence. And, of course, if anybody follows, we've lost 2 defensive linemen to drug use. So that's been the news out of Dallas for the past week or so, which is kind of disappointing.
It says Bills got Beasley for $29 million for 4 years.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I have some questions for you, and we're gonna get started on these questions.
Okay.
So what is the reason that you started collecting cards, man? I'm curious. I just want to know, what is the reason you started collecting cards?
Well, and so some of these questions I might have like multi-part answers.
That's okay.
So I initially started collecting cards when I was a kid, in the 80s. And when I first thought about it, I thought I started with baseball, but as I think back, my uncle was a huge influence on me. He was a big sports fan, and he got me into sports. And that kind of led me to cards. And it was football first. And believe it or not, and I just kind of rethinking the process, remembered that as a kid, I'm like 10, 11, 12 years old, I was originally a set collector.
Wow.
And I had, in the 80s, I think I had every Topps and complete base set of football from like 1980, maybe 81, because I don't remember having a Montana rookie. But I had like 81 through 89. I had all complete sets that were all hand built, and this was me as a kid going to the flea market every weekend. And back then, there was honestly a lot more dealers that you could just find out and about. And I would build these sets. And later on, like 85, 86, 87, I kind of started to follow baseball a lot more and really became a huge baseball collector in the 80s. I think what a lot of people might even call kind of the junk era of baseball. And I was a huge Will Clark fan, huge Giants fan. And so from probably, 87 to the early to mid 90s, I was a big baseball collector. And I loved sports. I loved my teams. And for me, even now when I collect it's one reason why I buy a lot of older, like Cowboys, Tony Dorsett, and it's very nostalgic for me. It reminds me of my childhood. It's more than just the cards for me now. But anyway, that's what happened as a kid. I quit collecting for years, up until probably 2016 or so. And if anybody knows him, Bronx Bombers cards, he was formerly Jeter02 on YouTube. He got back into collecting. Him and I, we met as kids, and that's how we met. We met collecting cards, trading cards, hanging out, doing that kind of thing. He got back into collecting, 2014. He had been telling me, man, you got to get back into the hobby. You got to get back in. It's so cool. And I was like, why are you wasting your money on this stuff? And eventually one day, when the Cowboys, when they had with Dak and Zeke and they had that good year, I got on eBay, bought a couple cards, and here I am.
Right.
I'm like back full force, completely hooked. So.
Yeah, I stopped. I got married in 1998. And when I was collecting cards when I was a kid, and I kept collecting all the way up because I only had I had one son. I've raised my son since the day he was born. But when I got married, my wife had 3 children. So we had the one. I had the one, and she had 3. So we had 4. So baseball cards and sports cards were not even in the budget, man. It was like that just completely went out. And these things got into a box, and they sat in a closet. And I didn't actually start returning to collecting until 2013, and that's when I returned back to collecting again. And and I had a lot of catch up to do, especially being a Ravens fan.
I think a lot of it for me, the reason I fell out was budget also. And when I was in my early 20s, I probably had other things I was wanting to spend what little money I had on.
Right.
I was definitely still a huge sports fan, but Yeah, it was budget related, and I remember, as we rolled into the '90s, collecting in the '80s, there's like Topps, Fleer, Don Russ. I remember Score coming along. I remember Upper Deck, and then it was like we got hit with so many products, and I didn't know how to handle that, and that's kind of when I fell off, and of course now it's unreal.
I think they're doing it. I think they're doing it again now. My problem with cards right now is there's so many. I know Panini's number one for football cards, okay, but there's so many Panini Platinum, Panini this, Panini. They're just. I think they're flooding it way too hard right now because they're making money and they see dollars, and it just reminds me of the '80s, and the early '90s.
Yeah.
You start bringing all this product in. And I know the autographs are great, but they just start bringing all this product in, and they're flooding everything, and it's just mass producing. It's just getting crazy.
That was one of the hardest things when I got back into the hobby for me to
What's up, Guns?
Just to figure out what's up, Jimmy. Was all the different products, the different parallels, and what all this meant, and refractors, and it was super hard to figure out. And really what kind of drew me, that's kind of why I started watching YouTube, because I was really trying to learn about the hobby, and lo and behold, there's guys like us that have a group that we just talk about cards. It was incredible.
Yeah, I agree. So how many, that goes into my next question, how many hours a week do you mess with cards? How many hours a week would you say?
I don't know. It depends on what's messing with cards, because I'm always on eBay, just kind of looking. A lot of times, if I make a little money, a little extra money on a card, selling some cards or whatever, if I just have some extra money, I'll spend days on eBay trying to figure out how I want to spend it and picking through what cards I want to get. So I spend a lot of time doing that. I think that's the cool thing about this hobby. Right. There's so many ways you can spend time in the hobby. Searching for cards, going to card shows, going to flea markets, sorting your stuff, putting care packages together for other people. Yeah. I probably spend a couple hours a day on a good day. Maybe when I've got time, I've 5-6 hours a day. Probably browsing social media, YouTube. I spend a lot of time on YouTube, Facebook, just reading, watching. I don't comment as much as I used to. I usually have YouTube on in the car. That's how I listen to this series. Usually once you put one out, I've got about a 20-30 minute ride to work. Gotcha. I put it on when I'm going to work, and it's awesome. But that's time in the hobby to me.
Right. I hear you.
It's constantly on my mind and in the background, and it's always there. I honestly can say, and Mike, Bronx Bombers, he sent me a text message yesterday, and all it said was, there was no picture attached or anything. It just said, I love baseball cards. and that's kind of where I'm at. I love this hobby. I can't define it, but I really do.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I can honestly say that of course I work, but at my break times, I'm searching eBay, or I'm looking at Marketplace, or I'm trying to find the next deal, And then at lunch, I usually on YouTube, I've gotten addicted at lunchtime to watch Coach K. I watch him at lunch because he's usually on. He's live on there during lunch, and then again breaks. And then when I get home, man, I'm pounding it. I'm my wife. I think sometimes she feels secondary to sports cards, but I don't. I got to learn how to balance that still. So, but other than collecting cards, man, what other hobbies you got?
Like you, I'm a father, married, so my family, spending time with my family, doing things with the family. They're not really incorporated into my hobby very much. The cards, that is, my son gets into it a little bit. They laugh at me sometimes and think I'm funny, but I play some video games here and there. I've got a PS4. I get online and play some Battlefield and the occasional game of Madden. I used to be a lot more into that when I was younger and before I got married. I love hiking, camping a little bit here and there. I really want to get back into, and I've been working on this and kind of figuring out how to integrate myself back into it. I was never a hunter or a big fisherman, but I kind of want to get into just survivalist type stuff. And I want to go. I go camping like at a campground and stuff, and I want to start backpack camping to where I take all my gear and I go, for a few days and just camp with what I've got.
Right.
I want, and then I hike from place to place. I want to do that, and I'm kind of scouting it out right now and trying to figure out where I want to go, and eventually, maybe I can get the family to go. So I enjoy that. I enjoy getting away from all this technology and stuff sometimes. Hustle and bustle. That's it though, man. I'm busy. Work, family, and YouTube, and the cards. It keeps me pretty active.
Sam, Jetsman80 says you're the king of Pong.
The king of what?
Pong. Remember Pong? Pong, yeah, Pong.
I had Pong as a kid, and I was not very good, but yeah, I do remember. And what's up, Sam? Congrats on Le'Veon Bell. I think tell him I do. Well, I guess he can hear me.
He can hear you.
I do have. I think I do have some Le'Veon stuff in his Michigan State uniform, and I got a few cards for him. I'll plop that in there.
He said, "Come with an egg." Says no porn.
What's up, Egg? Wadsworth.
Yeah. So, hey, so if you could, this is a big question for me, because if you could do anything for a job, man, and you had do whatever you wanted, whether it doesn't have to be card related, but you could have the choice to do anything for work, what would it be?
I thought about this one. So when I was a kid, first thing I wanted to, maybe a lot of kids wanted this. I wanted to be a archaeologist when I was a kid, and this is not what I would do now, but a little backstory. I wanted to be an archaeologist. I love dinosaurs, and I still do love dinosaurs. And then after that, I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. That didn't turn out. And so as I went to school and all that stuff, I think I missed my calling in a way. I really, if I could, would like to do something involved with journalism, and particular sports journalism, whether that be, the guy on ESPN that talks about the games, or a writer. I really, believe it or not, I really enjoy writing. I think my writing's pretty good. So I wished I could do that. I did kind of mess around with it in my free time, part-time, when I was younger. I wrote for, the small town newspaper covering high school football, and did it completely for free, and total blast. It was really cool to, you get credentials, you can go down on the sideline and walk around the team and take photos, and then just, writing stories on the game. So my dream job, if I could do whatever I wanted, that would be it.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
That is a cool job. So growing up, my dream job was to be a pediatrician. And the reason I wanted to be a pediatrician, and it was kind of funny because I was sitting in a doctor's office at the age of, I don't know, I had to have been probably 13 or 14. And they would say Dr. Sam or Dr. Smith or whatever it may be. Well, my last name is Pepper, like the spice, pepper, but one P. So I always thought it would be funny to go into a room as Dr. Pepper. And I was, as a pediatrician, I thought it would be really cool to get a bottle cap and put it on my head with a little strap and walk into a room with a bottle cap of Dr. Pepper in a room. And
And
that
the
was,
kids, the kids would actually love
I
that.
know, right? So that was actually my dream growing up. But if I had to make a different dream today, what would I do? You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I would want to retire. I want to be done. I don't even want to work.
True
You
that.
know, I mean, for so many years, we've been working, and I know a lot of guys have been working longer than me because they're probably watching. They're probably older than I am, but in my line of work, I've done the same job my whole life. I have built boats
Hmm.
my whole life, and
Yeah.
I honestly, Scott, is I hate boats. I hate them. I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
and it's not because I don't do my job because I like it. I do my job because I'm good at it,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
so if I could really choose something not or to do, it would be nothing. I
Yeah.
would just chill out and enjoy life. But we all don't have PDX's money. No, I'm just kidding, PDX. If you watch this, I'm just kidding. Um, we always
I,
wonder.
I,
We always wonder where
I'm
he gets it from. I don't know.
I'm with you, and I'm blessed to have. I've done pretty good for myself at my job. I do okay, but I'm not. I'm happy. I love my job. But yeah, if I had a chance to retire
Yeah.
and be independently wealthy, yeah, absolutely. I'd take that in a second.
Right. I don't want to be rich. I just want to not worry about money. That's all I would.
Yeah, I
Just live
think
that life.
I don't know. I don't want to speak for all men, but I think
Except.
there's a lot of us that we're okay being comfortable and being happy and being able to provide. And I don't necessarily need anything lavish.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of the same way. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I'm like I say, I'm lucky to have a good job. So I will hopefully be where I'm at until I retire, which is a good another 20 years from now.
Michael's Card Addiction says, "What's up?"
What's up, Michael?
And Purple GT22 says, "What's up, fellows?"
GT, what up, man?
Yeah. Yeah. So, one last question I got for you. We all have that one thing that we wish we could have a second chance at. That just got away from us. What is that one thing? Because everybody has it. What is that one thing that you wish wouldn't have got away?
um, well, mine's not going to be all that epic, and I'm actually going to relate it to cards.
Okay.
And I've thought about this. I've had this conversation with Bronx Bombers. Him and I, we collected at the same time. We came into our 20s at the same time. We cut up at the same time. We kind of screwed our lives up at the same time. And then we kind of got ourselves back together as adults and that kind of thing at the same time. I had a massive collection when I quit collecting. And a lot of what I had was I had a lot of vintage football that I had gotten from my uncle. Same guy that kind of turned me on to sports. I went to Super Bowl and a lot of games with him. I had Bradshaw rookies, Staubach rookies, Bar Star, Joe Namath, all these amazing cards. And later on in adulthood, and I'm not going to get
Hi,
into...
Mr. Russo. Mr. Russo says hello. Sorry.
Hey, Card Father. What's up, Ricky? Later on in adulthood, I ended up, and I'm not going to say I willfully made a decision, but I kind of let those cards that I had, I was so focused on other things that I lost them. And, I lost that entire collection. And I didn't intentionally do it, but I intentionally made decisions that sort of led to that happening. And I wish, number one, that I'd never done that, because now that cards matter to me again, man, I wish I still had all that stuff that I had. And just the cool factor of it. Number two, And I wished I had continued collecting into the 90s and 2000s just because, believe it or not, that's most of the stuff that I want now. And
Right.
I'm one of these 90s or 90s shine guys. I love the shine from those cards and all the different inserts, and there's so much to figure out there that I wonder if I had just stayed in the game for that time period. I don't know if that's selfish or what, but I just really wonder what it would be if I had continued. And I don't know, maybe that's silly because I may be completely overwhelmed if I still had all that stuff. I remember moving. Every time I would move, and I had that old collection, which was, 5-row boxes on top of 5-row boxes. And literally, it was like every time I moved, it was a chore. I'm like, what am I going to do with all these cards?
Yeah, I hear you.
And eventually, they went to a storage unit, and I lost them. Every one. So that's kind of my. I wish I hadn't done that. and I could go bigger and deeper, but for the sake of the card family, I'm going to keep that one the cards.
I gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to keep it to cards too. But I, before I went into the military, I had a huge, and I'm talking huge, Michael Jordan collection. I had a glass wall that was in my living room at my house, and it expanded. It was 12 feet wide, 8 feet tall, and it had shelves in it, and it had all my Michael Jordan. I can't even begin to tell you how many autographs I had. I can't even begin to tell you how many. I had 2 rookie cards. I had all this Michael Jordan memorabilia. It was amazing. I had a shoe that was worn by Michael Jordan, and it was great. But when I went into the military, this was just after 9/11 happened. I knew that I was going to be a month without a paycheck. Because when you go into the military, you know that you don't get paid. You get paid, monthly. You don't get paid weekly or bi-weekly. It's a monthly paycheck.
Yeah.
So you have to wait a month before you get a paycheck. So what we had to do is we had to sacrifice some things to cover all the bills and debts that we had. So when I went, plus you had to tie up some of your debts when you enlisted. They wouldn't let you go in with bad credit and all that good stuff. But so I sold it all. I sold everything, and it was so heart-wrenching to do that. I even sold my John boat, which is even worse. The cars were great, but my John boat that we went fishing on all the time, I ended up selling all that, and then all that good stuff. But we got a few minutes, guys. Hey, you guys got any questions for Big D?
Bring it. Nothing personal.
Nothing personal.
Make it personal. Whatever.
Just remember, guys, we are a PG channel. I see you. I'm waiting. Nobody's talking. All right, but we'll keep going. I'm sure something will pop up here in a second. What is your Emmitt Smith count up to? Michael's asking.
So honestly, I have not updated my spreadsheet, but I have been adding. So wherever I was last, which I think was 332, I just before we got on this call, I had like 11 come in the mail, and I've picked up a few others. I'm probably at like getting close to 350 now, and I'm waiting on a few more to come in before I do an update video on that, because I want these. I'm going to update and show everyone that I get, but I want these update videos to be beefy. I like to them. So I'm waiting to get all these in, and I've got a card show Saturday. And typically when I go to these card shows and I find these 10-cent boxes, that's when I really rack up. So, and especially now that I'm focused on this, I'm hoping maybe by the end of this weekend I'll be close to 400.
Wow.
It's really cool when you focus in on this, and for me, I can say I probably passed by a lot of Emmitts.
Right.
in boxes and stuff because I was like, oh, I don't want that as base. But when you start really paying attention to what you have, kind of like your Ravens collection where you're collecting all the base,
right?
You know, all of those cards start to have meaning.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I don't have, you know, this 1994 Topps base card, which I don't know if I do without looking, but I probably don't. So it's been really neat, and it's kind of, I was already hype about collecting, but it's kind of a new little avenue and really enjoying it.
Yeah, Mr. Russo wants to know, what is your favorite food?
Favorite food?
Your favorite food?
Probably sushi.
Wow.
I really like sushi, and number one, it's delicious, and not like the huge pieces of raw fish, but like, you know, sushi and wrapped in rice, and that's what I like. But the great thing about sushi is it's a lot of places it's buy one get one.
Right.
So when I was dating before I got married, I would take all my dates, we'd go get sushi, and that way I could buy one, and then the other one was free in case things didn't turn out. So there you go.
Yeah.
But my wife doesn't like sushi, and I never took her to get sushi. So maybe that's how.
Mr. Russo says you like it raw.
I do. Yep.
Yeah,
raw.
Yeah, I love sushi too, because down here at Publix, we have a Publix down here. I don't know if you guys have Publix where you're at, but we have a Publix. It's a grocery store chain, and they have
we've got one here.
Okay, so on Wednesdays they have half price sushi platters. So my wife usually goes down and picks that up, and we like to eat it. So, Anthony Hockey, I have one more question for you. Anthony Hockey wants to know, what is your favorite Cowboy card, or what is his favorite non-Cowboy? What is your favorite non-Cowboy? Not a card, but who is your favorite non-Cowboy?
Non-Cowboy?
Yeah. That's a hard one.
Yeah, really, I used to, probably Marshall Faulk. I do. I mean, Willie Mays is an easy one, or Will Clark, but right. I'm going to stay in football.
Right.
I got a pretty good side PC going of Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
I don't know why. He was, I think mostly he was really good in the 90s or 90s and 2000s. I mean, one of the most dynamic players I've ever seen. And, you know, cards from that era are so beautiful. So Marshall Faulk, currently, I'm drawn to the Saints. And I think Anthony Hockey is a big Kamara fan. I could be wrong, but I'm drawn to the Saints. So I really like Drew Brees and Kamara and Michael Thomas, and I like any NC State guys. So Naheem Hines, Torrey Holt, Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, Bradley Chubb, any of these guys that went to state, I love also, and try to collect as best I can.
Yeah, for me, and it's sad because as a Ravens fan, I hate everybody else who's the AFC North. But this year, believe it or not, I am pulling for the Browns. It's hard to say that as a Ravens fan, but because of the disgust that they've had for so many seasons and so many years, I would really like to see them succeed. I mean, they need to succeed for what they are. And for me, I would just honestly say that I think this year I've got a little bit of a weak spot in my heart for the Browns. So that's where I'm kind of at.
And I think in that division, you know, with the Steelers losing some big pieces, what's your division? Steelers, Ravens, Browns,
and Bengals.
I think the Ravens are going to be the team to stand in the way of the Browns.
I think you're right.
That'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And I'm pulling for Cleveland too.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them do well. And I like Baker. I'm not sure if he's the chosen one, but I do like him. So I think it'd be interesting to see how it plays out there.
So we know this is Touching Lives. And as Touching Lives, I like to give things away. It's just what I do. So this first gift is sponsored by Dustin and Blake. They have donated some money, and we're going to. We have a chance to get somebody that you think deserves a hot pack, and a hot pack is it could be either baseball or football, but I'm trying to stick to football more often, and they'll be guaranteed an autograph or a jersey in this pack, and it'll get sent to them. So if you were going to choose somebody to receive this hot pack, who would it be?
So initially, first of all, a lot of guys crossed my mind, but I think in our community, and honestly, one of the first people that crossed my mind was Dustin and Blake.
Okay.
And I didn't know that that they were in on, so
Right.
I don't want them to buy something for themselves.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot of guys, but I think there's a lot of haves in our community, and a lot of people that have received a lot of things and that routinely get a lot of things. So I was like, oh, maybe a kid, but this kind of hit me today. I think Cards of Giants is he's a football guy, obviously a Giants guy, and I think after what he's gone through the past couple of days,
Right.
I think a hot pack would hopefully cheer him up a little bit, because after losing Beckham and Landon Collins and
I got you.
all that, so I think he's deserving. And he's he's relatively new to our community,
Right.
but I like his style. I think he's good looking. I like his hair. I like the gray that he's got going on. So that's my choice.
Gotcha. All right, so we'll get that mailed out to the Cards of Giants. I'll get that mailed out to him. That's great, because I already had a package getting ready to go out to him to begin with, so that will work out in my favor on shipping.
Perfect.
So that works out. So
we did not collaborate on this.
No, we did not. So, and I know you guys never expect anything, and I know that's one of the things. But another YouTuber has stepped up, and they wanted to gift you with something. I'm sure you've heard of Little C and his dad, Mile High Campers.
Absolutely,
Okay.
I have, yeah.
So Little C, Mile High Campers, his dad, he produced this sticker, which you can't see. It's the CFFL sticker for Jack Frost. He is going to make your stickers, 25 of them, and get them out to you. That's going to have BigD4Life. So you will receive that gift from them, that was donated by them.
That's awesome. And I'm pretty sure I have a Jack Frost.
Right.
I have a Todd Burlingame. I think I've got at least one more, and those stickers are awesome. So
Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, so they're gonna send that to you. He will send that to you. Like I said, thanks to Little C and Mile High. Also, I wish I had it. It's still in process, but I got you a little something myself. I got you a really cool Dallas Cowboy leather wallet that I wanted to get to you. I know all of us guys, we carry wallets, but just my gift to you is a really cool Dallas Cowboy wallet that I've got for you. And as soon as I get it, I will get it off to the mail to you. So you will have that. So,
nice, man. I really appreciate that. I do use a wallet.
Yeah. Well,
I don't have a lot of money to put in it, but I do use one.
Well, it's one of those things that all of us guys got to carry, and I have a really cool Raven one too. So I just thought it would be kind of cool, something a little different for you. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an amazing 30 minutes. Scott, thank you so much for being on the show and hanging out with us. So I will announce next week. I will announce that next week's, or the 2 weeks guest from now, I will announce next week. And it'll be a really cool one, because it's probably not a lot of people you guys get to hear of and talk to. So it will be kind of exciting to get to meet this guy and get some conversation with him. Again, Scott, thanks for hanging out with me. If you just hang on when I close out here, and we'll talk for a second. Hey, you guys, peace, God bless, and truly happy collecting from the Card Dreamer and BigD4Life.